Hello, everyone out there. Thank you so much for listening in to me today. This is Dr. Marva Herring right here in Washington, D.C. on Humming Along with Dr. Herring. Thank you so much for listening in and being a part of my audience. I am, like I said, I'm telling you about my episode with the Maryland Dental Board. I'm appealing that. It's been quite a while. That was in 2007. I'm kind of like the man who was Mr. Coach Joe Kennedy, who was praying after the football game with his team in Washington State. I think that's the location. Um, so I'm right here in Washington D.C. and I was telling you on the last episode about my problems with the Maryland Dental Board and my Maryland dental license, how I had to walk away from that because each time I would try to do things to get my license renewed or keep my license, they would come up with the dental board and Kimberly Camerata and Richard Bloom, who were assistant attorneys general with the state of Maryland. They would make up different things that was not my personality. It was as if they were creating a movie about themselves. Because I noticed a lot of times I started out as a special education instructor and behavioral science instructor before I became a dentist. I joined the military. I went to school to get in some science courses, the prerequisites to attend dental school. Got into dental school and became a dentist. So, as I was saying, the Maryland Dental Board would bring in things that was not my personality. First of all, let me back up and say my office was so flooded until when the inspector came to my office, there was no reason for them to even do an inspection. However, he went ahead and did the inspection as if I was working. And after you see the pictures, I'm going to be publishing the pictures. I'm getting those ready to publish so you can see what the pictures look like. Then you'll be able to understand where I'm coming from, see what I'm talking about, and get an ideal opinion of my my of the situation that was happening to me and how there's no other conclusion you can come to. And like I told you, attorney, I would just call her Kimberly Camerata and Richard Bloom. They were just regular people who were racist and had nothing else to do other than to try and set me up, and they set themselves up because she went ahead and had to tell the truth, and the truth it will show you the fact and her facts, which are the actual truth, which is the actual truth of that situation that day. Was there were no patients in the office. The office was off limits to everybody other than the people who were doing the construction. My brother and I were the basic people who were in charge of the instruction of the reconstruction, the remodeling of the office because the office was so flooded and so damaged. So when the inspector came in, which was unusually weird to me that the inspector came, but I knew that Rita Hodge, who had been a patient of mine, a white lady, I'm black, a white lady who was so jealous of me until she would do anything. I had bought, like I said, I bought a Hummer and I bought a new house, and then I also owned my dental office. So that was too much for a black person to do around the Rita Hodge and the people in Silver Spring, that part of Silver Spring, Maryland, and on the other side of Wheaton. So much so until they would tow my car every time I park in the parking lot, and her son would come and tow my car, charge me $125, even though I was parked in my own parking space. They wanted to see the registration for my car, because unfortunately, some people like Rita Hodge thought that a Hummer was something like a Bentley when a Hummer is just a Cadillac car. General Motors product. So Rita Hodge and her and the people in the complex were so intimidated by the fact that I own a few things. They own things as well, but black people, I guess, are not, in their viewpoint, black people are not entitled to own anything. Let's get back to like my office. Like I said, I own my dental office, and it was flooded, and I was just finishing up breast cancer treatment, trying to get back to work. So my office was so dilapidated and deluged from the flood until I had no choice other than to shut down and try to repair, replace everything in the office. And the flooding would continue from the three apartments upstairs because of the old plumbing. The old plumbing pipes needed to be replaced. They had not been, because my office was on the bottom floor. All of the water from the all of the drain from where individuals upstairs were washing their clothes, washing their dishes, taking baths, using the bathroom. All that water would come straight down through my office into the drain before it went outside. And because of that, it needed to be snaked out and cleaned every month. Wasn't being done. And Rita Hodge was the person who was in charge of having that done. We had plumbers on a retainer, as well as uh, pest control individuals on retainer. And because of that, that was why my plumbing backed up, because the uh, plumbers who were supposed to maintain my drains did not come in and do that on a monthly basis, as the paperwork states that they were supposed to do. And in addition to that, my office was so flooded until I was in the midst of repairs, and the office was closed down. You'll see the pictures. Despite that, Kimberly Camerata put information on my name on the National Provider Database, which is like a computerized um, how the Health and Human Services maintains when people have a problem. Providers, dentists, physicians, nurses, healthcare providers, when they have a problem, um, the information that what happens to them is sent to Health and Human Services if they have any violations. I had no violations, but Kimberly Camerata, Richard Bloom, and the Maryland Dental Board created violations for me. One of those, like I said, was the fact that they tried to get me to go to a well-being committee meeting, which is for dentists who are alcoholics and drug abusers. I didn't know what it was because I'd never had a problem with the dental board before. And after my case manager, Miss Gloria Bird, found out, she completely stopped working with me for the dental board. She said she realized that I didn't have any problems, and there were no problems with my name, and of course the fact that I had never smoked or drank in my life, and I was the chief dentist at Andrews, and I had a secret clearance. So therefore, in order to get a clearance, they investigate you from birth, and your clearance is always updated every year to make sure you don't have any violations on your name, that uh, government violations, any tickets, any drug, alcohol abuse, any kind of problems would not allow you to have a secret clearance, as you can expect. Um, so they didn't know that, and they got my attorney to get me to sign paperwork to get me to go to a well-being committee meeting. And my case manager, Miss Gloria Bird, told me after she hit the ceiling when she found out, and she told me that meeting was for dentists who are alcoholics and drug abusers. She just knew that, she realized that the dental board was just going too far. So when I knew anything, she had referred me to the Maryland State Congress, and delegate who later became Senator, State Senator Shirley Nathan Pulliam, uh, was trying to filter out cases that the dental board was um, treating in a negative manner, as opposed to how they were treating differently, discriminating against the black dentists, black physicians, as opposed to the white physicians and dentists in Maryland. So before I knew it, I was referred to uh, Senator Shirley Nathan Pulliam, and she said she just couldn't believe uh, what the dental board was trying to do to me. But no matter what I did, no matter how I tried to uh, convince them that they had made a mistake, they just kept working as if I hadn't said a word. Because I told Rob White, the person who was conspiring with them as well, who worked for the University of Maryland. I've looked him up. He works for the University of Maryland in the I think he's a social worker, but he tried to indicate to me that he was a physician of some type, and he told me that I could just have a meet after I told him they had made a mistake and explained that I was a chief dentist at Andrews. I couldn't have that position. You can't get in Andrews, where the president flies out and where the president and all of the executive officers in Congress, in these different cabinet members, Secretary of State, all of those people fly right out of Andrews, right next to where our hangar is for us to fly out of Andrews. So you can't have people who have any kind of a blemish on their record, traveling or being a part of that atmosphere. It just does not happen. So, like I said, Miss Bird referred me to the Maryland state government, and they were trying to help me as well because they were just appalled. But the dental board didn't back down. They continued to act as if there was something wrong with me, because I kept writing them to get on paper what the well-being committee was all about. What is it? What's the definition of it? None of them would answer that. They would try to act like I was part of their side by telling me that I asked my attorney. I told my attorney I thought it might have been a support group. I didn't tell my attorney anything. My attorney was supposed to tell me. That's what we do as healthcare providers. We have to give patients the information before we ask them to sign. We have to explain it in detail before patients are supposed to sign off on any kind of treatment. So they didn't do any of that. I kept trying to give them opportunities. You'll see, because like I said, I'm publishing my information. I'm writing a book about it. So a tell-all book to expose what happens. And I'm asking other dentists to contact me, and then send me some information, subscribe to my station, write information in the chat, so that I can help other dentists who are having any kind of situation like that, any unforeseen situations like that, that wherein you have no problem. I didn't have a problem. My office was flooded. It had to be closed. Then if you see the pictures and see the state of the office, you would see why. And patients would not come in. If they came in, and you wouldn't come in. After you see the pictures, you'll see you would not come in, because it was not fit for people to enter, and certainly not up to par for people to begin to have treatment. However, Kimberly Camerata and Richard Bloom declared that I was incompetent. I provided dental care in an unprofessional and incompetent manner. I endangered the health of my patients because I did not follow CDC guidelines. And Kimberly Camerata told the truth when she said she was alerted to my office by the plumber, who said that my office smelled, my office was filthy and it smelled terrible. And if you've ever been in a house where you might live or someone else lives and it's flooded, it does smell terrible, it looks terrible, and it looks awful. And there's nothing else you can do other than shut it down and close it up and work to repair it and try to replace everything. So, thank you for listening today. I have an ongoing comment line. So please send me your comments and donate if you can to me on the Cash App as I try to move forward. I'm on Cash App, $XXHJM. Thanks so much for listening. Love you.